Thanks for tuning in to the TDM podcast presented by TreeDogMedia.com. TreeDogMedia.com is sponsored by the Canine Transporter. If you're looking to have a dog, puppy, or hound of any type hauled, give Nicole Merkel a call at 912-656-9790. She's USDA licensed, climate control vans, and the best hound transporter in the nation. Otter Creek Embroidery. They are the exclusive hat maker of TreeDogMedia.com hats. Give them a call or look them up on Facebook for all your embroidery needs. Cajun Outdoors Cajun Lights. The Cajun Blinder. The most brightest light on the market and a quality hunting light built right here in the United States of America. Little T Coon Squallers. The Triple Threat, the Original, and the Pro Series are three of the top line and best coon squallers on the market today. And last but not least, our new exclusive sponsor and partner, Dan's Hunting Gear. Thank you, Dan's Hunting Gear, for coming on board for Tree Dog Media. And if you need any hunting gear, visit TreeDogMedia.com, TDM Supplies, for all your Dan's hunting supply needs. All right, everybody. Today we have on the phone Mr. Brandon Gaines. We're going to talk a little bit about his line of dogs and his experience in competition coon hunting and just coon hounds in general. Brandon, before we get into this, I just want to thank you for taking the time to do this. I know time's valuable nowadays, so we want to thank you for coming on and sitting down with us, sir.
Yes, sir. Honored to do it.
Well, before we dive into some questions, if there's anybody, out there that maybe don't know who Brandon Gaines is, can you just give them a little bit of brief history about yourself and who you are?
Well, I'm Brandon Gaines. I'm married, Terry. I've got 3 biological kids. One's coon hunter. I met him through coon hunting, and now I work for him. I'm a welder, and I coon hunt about every night.
Yes, sir. About how old were you when you got into coon hunting yourself?
I think I was 13, 14 when I finally got my grandparents finally let me go. My grandparents raised me, so for a long time I didn't get to go. I was 13 or 14 when they finally decided to let me go.
Yes, sir. Did you start out hunting English dogs when you were that young, or would you start out hunting?
Yeah, I started out hunting English dogs. That was the first dog I ever owned was an English. And then after it got run over, I ended up I'd hunt anything to run creek in for a while. And then probably the last 12 years I've been hunting nothing but English dogs.
Is there a reason for that or behind that, or just something you like about the breed in general?
Well, I just like the English dogs. I like the looks of them. I like the way they hunt. I just like to be a little different, to be honest with you, too.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's hunting Walker dogs nowadays. I just like to kind of be the oddball, I guess.
I heard that. So can you tell us a little bit about your line of dogs, some of your more successful ones, things like that?
Yeah. Well, I'm on my 4th generation of dogs that I've bred, raised, and trained myself. Um, I hunt what I breed and breed what I hunt. Now, I didn't start the whole lines. The female that I had was out of some of Doug Nestor's breeding, and I named her Jill. She was out of Woodmaster Stone Cold Joe, and then Doug Nestor's Trailer Girl female, and I got her, and she turned out to be a really nice dog. And I just made her a night champion, decided I wanted to breed her, and I was looking for a stud dog. I shopped around all over hunting with pups, and finally I ended up visiting with Terry Goforth about breeding the the Rocky Rounds Bad News Bow dog. He was actually not far from me. The dog was not far from me here. He was over at John Kirby's. Terry and John had partnered on him at the time. I was able to make that cross happen, and then that gave me my rowdy dog. His name was BNS. Trailer's Bad News Rowdy. I won all over the country with that dog. All different levels. He's been top 100 of the world, placed top 20 one year. I think he placed 15th one year. He's won at Winter Classics, Black and Tan Day, Red Bun Days, English Days. He's just done a lot of winning. I bred him to several females, and I ended up breeding one of John Kirby's females, to Rowdy, and then I had my diesel dog, which his name was BNS, fully fueled red diesel. He's won at all levels. He hasn't been put in as many hunts as Rowdy's been put in, but he is a Grand Night champion. He's actually a PKC Platinum champion.
Ooh.
And there's not a lot of Platinum champions in the English breed. But he is a Platinum champion. I put him in a pro sport truck hunt one time and got in top 16 of it. I've had him in side-by-side hunt, got in top 16. Final Four, a couple high-end pro classics. And he's been doing real nice. And I bred, I think, let's see, he's got 16 pups on the ground until just the other day. We had a litter of pups out of Keith Sutmiller's Flow female and Diesel.
I know Keith.
Yeah. I bred his Flow female to Diesel. She just had pups the other day.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. And pretty excited about that cross. But I've got a female out of Diesel and a loudmouth JR female that I call Girl. She just now turned a year old. I haven't put her in no hunt yet. I'm the type, I'm not going to take one to a hunt if they ain't ready.
Yes, sir.
And so, but I plan on hunting her up at English Days in the pup hunt and go from there. Might hunt her in the rest of the hunt. Probably have somebody handle her. But I've got her, and she's out of my Diesel dog and the JR female. And I'm also partners on a dog out of my Rowdy dog that we call the Boy Named Sue. He was just a year old last year and placed 15th in the UKC World. Chris Biggs is who I'm partnered with on him. Chris has actually done all the work with that dog, or started him, trained him, and everything, and he's out of my Rowdy dog and a JR female of David Bacon's. And he hasn't been put in a bunch of hunts, but he's won about everything we put him in.
Yes, sir.
So we're here before long. We just need 2 more wins on him. I can Grand Night, and then we're gonna try to find a couple of select females to breed to him, see if he's gonna reproduce like these one Rowdy have. Just go from there.
Yes, sir. Now, am I mistaken, or do you have a dog named Bobby?
I don't have one named Bobby right now.
Okay. So, what? But the Bell female, I may cut this part out. The Bell female that I'm hunting out of D. What's the sire? I should know this, but what's the sire? What'd you cross with D?
I bred Rowdy to D.
Rowdy. I don't know where I got Bobby in at all.
Well, Bobby's been bred to D before too.
Maybe that's.
Yeah, Alan bred Bobby to D.
Okay.
And then I bred D. we was actually planning on breeding D to Diesel, but Diesel wouldn't. He didn't want nothing to do with her because I had D down here at my house, and she was ready to be bred. Like my vet told me on her progesterone test, like she needs to be bred today, and Diesel wouldn't breed her. And I called Ronnie and talked to him, and I said, "You want to breed her out if we can, or I can try to figure out if we can get her AI today or whatever we got to do." He said, "Just breed her out," and we did.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I should know more about the dog. I've been hunting for 6 months, but I don't study
yeah,
pedigrees like that. I just honestly just hunt. But
yeah,
I guess that's where I got the cross was the previous with Mr. Allen.
yes,
Um,
sir.
so you kind of started off with Rowdy. Is that what I'm understanding? And that
Well,
produced
I started out with Jill,
Jill. Okay.
which was Rowdy's mama,
Okay.
and then went to Rowdy and then Diesel, and now it's Girl and Sue, which Sue's a male, but Girl's a girl.
Gotcha. That's that's but Rowdy would be, and I guess the first stud dog you tried to start pushing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And what is for those that don't know, me being one of those people, what does your dog's lineage go back to? What does it look like if we were looking at the papers here?
Well, Rowdy, on Rowdy's top side, he's directly out of Rocky Run's Bad News Bow,
Okay.
which is Lightfoot bred. And, then on the bottom side, you got the Jill. She was out of the Woodmaster Stone Cold Joe, which is some of Larry Wilcox breeding, and Doug Nestor Taylor Girl, which is all of Doug Nestor's breeding.
Yes, sir. I got you.
And the Rowdy dog, I think he's number 6 right now on the reproducer list. I actually gave him to, well, he was 11 years old. The kid was 11 years old when I gave him Rowdy. But he's a really good kid, hunts hard. Him and his dad hunt like crazy, good people, and I was focused on Diesel and had young dogs coming, and I just didn't like seeing Rowdy sit there. So I gave Rowdy to Jeff and Will Nance, and they've had him for the last going on 2 years.
Now, I was looking on your Facebook profile earlier today, trying to do some studying. Is that uh, the young kid and dad that I saw in the interview with Jason Wayne Hunter? Is that who you gave
Yes,
Rowdy?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You kind of stole my question there because I was going to get into that, but
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. You don't see that much, especially with a dog that a good stud dog. Most people want them to,
Yeah.
they're a little selfish and want them to stay there and whatnot. That speaks a
Yeah.
lot of your character, if I have to say anything about it. So, but while we're on the topic of Facebook, another thing I saw, and I just want to expand on the character that I've learned about you just from reading and talking with Mr. Allen. I saw a post that you made, I guess April 9th, and I'm just going to quote it and then we can talk about it. It says, if anyone around my area wants to learn about coon hunting and how to handle dogs, just hit me up. Don't need a dog. I got one. Just tag along. Don't need a light. I got an extra. You will learn how to hunt, handle, and what a dog is doing, how to respect others' property, and do things the right way. Right now, my buddy and I hunt all the time, running for sure. I could use the extra hand, so it won't only teach you, but it will help me. You don't see that a lot. You know, you just uh, explain what why what you think the sport needs more of that, and explain that a little bit to me. I really liked that. It kind of gave me goosebumps when I was reading it. You don't just see that, especially not at a person who's had 2 successful stud dogs working on more. They all think a lot of those people stay in the corner and expect you to come up to them and talk about their dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem I think with coon hunting nowadays. A lot of them are that way. We're getting at a time, I think, in the world where we got to help each other, and really, social media, I hate to say it, but I mean, everything, everybody's doing stuff to get clicks. And most stuff that gets clicks is negativity. And I don't like to surround myself with negativity. I want to do something. I've got goals set for myself, and the only way you can achieve your goals, in my opinion, is to be positive about everything that you do. Help others. That's just how I was raised. Man, I'm about as country as it gets. um, I I was raised yes sir, no sir, and help others when they need it. That's just how I was raised. I was also raised if you're gonna do something, do it right. There's no use in doing something twice. Do it right the first time. Uh, well, I'm not degrading parents or putting anybody down, but a lot of people just don't take the time to teach the kids like they used to. Like when I was a kid, I was 10, 11 years old, I was driving tractor, cutting hay, running combines, and doing. You don't see that nowadays. Um, a lot of your people that are running hunts, you don't see them taking kids hunting. And if we don't take kids hunting and teach them the sport, then the sport's going to die because there ain't nobody coming up. Um, the thing, and my other deal is the ones that are going, a lot of them are not getting taught the right way. They get thrown to the wolves, and it's sad, but I've seen it. They don't do it when I'm there because I've got enough backbone. I'll stand up for somebody, whether it's a kid or an adult. If somebody in the cash is trying to do something dirty, I'm not going to let them do that. We got rules. We got ways to question things. There's a system, and you got to know how to use the system. There's a right way and a wrong way. You don't have to blow up, yell, and scream, and get fighting mad and cast and act a fool. That don't look good for nobody. Because it gets put on Facebook, and that just gives us a bad name as coon hunters. I don't want that. If we all would try a little harder to have a little integrity about ourselves, I think we'd get a lot further in life, And I want to win just as bad as the next guy, but I don't want to win unless I win right. Now, I've won cast where I shouldn't have won, but it's just how the rules was and how the cards fell, and not always the best dog wins the cast, and that's sad, but it's just the truth of it. You go to these hunts, and you want to win, but in all actuality, I mean, if you stop and think about it, we got so many more hunts nowadays than what there used to be. I mean, we can go to a 6,500, a truck hunt, any $2,500 hunt. We can go to one every week. There's one somewhere every week. And a lot of these guys are just chasing that dollar. And, if you can, that's great. If you can't, that's fine. There's some of these people, all they want to go in there and be negative on Facebook because there is guys that are able to do that. Well, the thing is, what people don't realize, and I've had the opportunity to do it, so I know I don't have the money to run all the big hunts. I don't have a money man, but I got good dogs.
Yes, sir.
And I don't cheat. If I win, I won fair. There ain't nobody gonna say nothing bad about me. But if you got a good dog and you present yourself right, you go to these hunts, people see that. And one of these money men will see that, and they will put you in a hunt. Because that's how I got to hunt into a couple of these high-end pro hunts. I've judged a bunch of these high-end hunts, and people ask me, how come you ain't hunting now? I don't really. I've got a family, which comes first. I ain't got the money to throw away and gamble on. some of these big name guys that people like Ryan Krausen and George Majors, um, several of them guys had talked about me and my dogs. And then out of the blue, I was judging a pro classic. Guy's dog got in a hole, and I was the only one that stayed and helped this guy get his dog. And then out of the blue, like a couple months later, the guy called me and said, "Hey, I got you an entry for this $3,500 hunt." I was like, "Do what?" "Well, I know you got good dogs." That guy didn't know me from Adam, but
Yes,
he
sir.
spent $3,500 off because he knew I had good dogs from what everybody had told him. And I helped him. Anybody that does this, if you do things the right way, doors will open and you get a chance. And the thing was, like I told that guy, someone pretend that $3,500 entry fee come out of my pocket, and I'm gonna treat it as so. So I made sure my dog was ready for that hunt. And I went up there, I made the final four, and me and the other guy both made some money on the deal. And it's simple as that. People just don't look at it that way, but that's how it happens.
Yes, sir. Well, that's why I wanted to bring that up because, I think the world and our sport specifically needs more of that. That saying right there, you just told a story about it, but good things happen to good people is very true. You treat people right, they'll treat you right. The golden rule, as we were learned in kindergarten. So I think the world needs more of that. That's why I wanted to bring that up and
Yeah.
talk about that.
Another thing I'd like to say is like never let today's success determine the rest of your career in coon hunting. Because tomorrow there'll be another winner tomorrow, and guess what? You won't be remembered,
Yes, sir.
because there's always going to be another winner the following week. There's another winner. So don't just trying to cheat or do whatever to get a win because you think, oh, I'm going to get this little bit of money and that's going to determine my career. Everybody's going to remember it. No, because next week there's going to be another one. And the next week after that, there's another one.
Yep.
It's not like it used to be.
Yes, sir. Getting back to talking about dogs a little bit more, um, what is something that you liked about, we'll do Rowdy and Diesel, that you like about those that stick out? Like, what is your favorite trait or something that they do that just you can always count on, and that's something that you like about them too?
Well, the thing with the line of dogs that I got that I've liked the most is their mouth. They got good mouth. They hustle, and they had a little, they had something a little extra that I don't see in a lot of dogs nowadays, and that was the ability to win coon and lay coons up. And I've been able to run with it, and it's done me a lot of good. Every dog's different. Um, you can take any dog and win with it, in my opinion. Might not win at a high level, but if you learn a dog, you learn his strong suits and his weak suits, and you just focus on working on his strong suits and lessening the weak points, then you can win with that dog. And that's what I've done. I went with, you know, their strong suits. They hustle. They was able to win coons, and they was deadly accurate.
Yes. Another question I had on that is,
So that's their deal that I've had the reason I've had the success that I've had. There's things that with every line of dogs out there that I think you can make better.
right.
I which my diesel dog, my rowdy dog, he didn't open on the ground very often. It was odd. It kind of depended on the night. If there was any kind of breeze, he'd run his head in the air and just pick them off like popcorn. If he was dead calm, he'd put his head down, go cracking the coons like the dog was smart enough to know he had to trail one up when the wind was blowing. If the wind was blowing, he could train faster by putting his head in. Diesel can win coon and lay coons up, but he's not as good at it as Dad is. But he's a good track dog. He can really drive tracks, and he looks better when there's tracks on the ground. So there again, I had to focus on what he was better at. I wanted to put him in places where coons were going to be down and focus on that.
Yes, sir. When you're got a pup you're wanting to work on, or you're hunting or whatever, what are you looking for, you specifically, out of that dog, and what do you expect at certain stages to move it to the next level, or to move it on out of your kennel? What do you expect personally?
Well, you talking about how do I pick a pup, or
Yeah, how do you pick a pup, and as you're hunting it, how do you make the decision, okay, this is going to work for what I'm wanting to do, or maybe this isn't going to work? Is there certain things you're looking for at different stages of life, things like that?
Well, honestly, where I live at right now, I can't do it. But if I had a place where I could let my pups run loose, that would be how I'd pick a pup. But the way I pick Rowdy, Diesel, and all these other dogs that I've got, I just looked at them and said, that's the one. I mean, I ain't got no special magic trick or anything like that. As far as being able to run with them, as long as they're showing me improvement when I take them, I can do something with them. But if they ain't trying to improve, they ain't gonna stick around here very long. They they've got to hustle. That's number one. If they ain't got no hustle to them, I'm not gonna keep them. They're lazy. If they're real quirky acting or timid acting, I can't handle that. It won't work for me. I'm not gonna breed nothing like that. That's just me. They just got to move around. They got to be trying to do something. They don't have to be doing something right all the time, but they got to be trying to do something. I can't just be standing there on my feet. If they'll hustle and show me they got the want to try to do something, I can work with them. I can make something out of it. And so far, it's worked I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm like a dog whisperer or anything like that, but every pup that I've kept out of Diesel or Rowdy or anything, every one of them made dogs that treat coons. I ain't gonna say that every dog made a competition dog, what I would call a competition dog, but they made coon traders. But it just takes time and lots of boot leather and lots of patience.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. Um, so Diesel's the one you're pushing and promoting now, or is that right?
Yes.
Along with Sue.
Yeah.
So is Diesel, open to, are you breeding him still to people from the public, or is it kind of a private deal?
Yeah, I'm open to the public with him.
Okay.
It's just been kind of when Oklahoma's not a hotbed for breeding.
Right.
I have bred some really nice females. I got lucky with Diesel. Now with Rowdy, I did a lot of buying females, good females to breed to him, and I would breed them, and then I would give the females to kids. After I'd use, kids that needed a dog that run tree to him, I'd give them kids and females. But I ain't doing that with Diesel. I've come to the conclusion either we'll get there by breeding to the public or we won't. I mean, there's walker dogs in Oklahoma that's getting bred too from all over the country. I don't see why we can't go with English dogs. We just gotta make a statement, I guess. And everything I put my mind to, I've been able to achieve it. So it's just what we're gonna do.
I like that drive and motivation you got. You know, it's kind of contagious. So,
Yeah.
um, I want to, you know, this is your podcast, but I do want to touch on a gentleman that made this connection, and that's, Alan Short. What?
Yes, sir.
How did you get connected with Mr. Allen, and what's that relationship been like for you?
I first actually started talking to Alan when I was looking for a male stud to breed to my Jill dog.
Okay.
And I was looking at JR because I knew I seen pups and hunted with pups out of them and liked what I seen out of it. And at that time, when all that was going on, I just wasn't sure I was going to be able to make the trip to Georgia to make the cross happen. And actually, Alan was very helpful in the situation. I told him about the bow dog. And he was down here, and he said, "Well, that'd be a no-brainer for me. You like what he's throwing. He's right there. Do that. And maybe next time everything will be where it can, and we can make the cross happen um, to get breeder JR." Well, unfortunately, when the pups was born and they was about 4 weeks old, Jill died. So we was never able to make that happen. But ever since then, I've talked to Alan quite a bit, and he's always been real helpful. Advice on breeding, training. I'm the type of person my grandpa, he always told me there ain't no such thing as a dumb question. And I know a lot about dogs, but there's sometimes that every dog's different. So there's things that I see in a dog, and I might have done this with one dog and it worked, and this dog it ain't working. And I've called Alan, I've called several other people, John Anderson, James Chandler, John Kirby, Terry Gilpin. I've got several people that I look up to in the coon animal world, and I'll call them and ask them questions on training, breeding, and to help me. And that's the only reason I feel like I've done as good as I have is because I'm open to asking people and ask advice. And so many people are not willing to do that. They don't want to. Nobody wants to think that they didn't succeed or feel like they're failing at something or whatever. And I'm not that way. Um, the way I look at it, if you want to get somewhere, you gotta put the work in, and sometimes it involves going a different route. You got to think outside the box sometimes to get where you want to go. So that's how that all has come about for me. And Alan ain't done nothing but do me right and help me out along the way. And hopefully he feels the same way about me. I think he does. One thing about Alan, he don't sugarcoat nothing. He'll just tell you how it is. If you like it, good. If you don't, good. And I'm the same way. I'm not gonna. I just tell people how it is. And I don't mean nothing mean by it, but I figure you beat around the bush and you ain't gonna know nothing. So you might as well just tell how it is.
You gave a bunch, but if there was a young gentleman that, let's just say we're at a hunt. Let's put you in a scenario. You're at a hunt.
Okay.
Someone young, fresh in the sport, comes up to you. They know you've been successful at a breeding program, a training program, and the hunts, and they ask you for some advice and some encouragement. What is something, because that you would give to that person in that moment?
Oh man, it's not a tough question, but it is a tough question
Yes, sir.
because I would probably first ask them a question, and I would ask them what are they wanting to do, uh, where are they wanting to go with it, because some people just want to hunt, and that's it, be pleasure hunters. Some of them want to have goals and want to do like the rest of us. I mean, I want to win a world hunt.
Right.
Most likely I'll never do it, but in all honesty, I'm gonna try to achieve that. If that's something that they're wanting to do, um, it would be an in-depth deal probably. Because you gotta ask yourself how you gonna become relevant and stay relevant in the sport. Um, you gotta be willing to put in the work. It's not your dog's only gonna be as good as his handler, as far as its ability. If I'm only hunting my dog once a month, he's not gonna be no good. A lot of these dogs that don't make competition dogs is because their owners don't mean that no disrespect to nobody, but if the handler ain't putting in the time and the work, why should the dog? You can't leave a dog sit in the pen and expect it to go perform every night in the hunt. It don't work that way. They're an athlete and they got to be worked. I hunt 5-6 nights a week and I work a full-time job. I'm putting in the boot leather, I'm putting in the work, and you got to be willing to do that. It's first and foremost, it's as far as in the hunts and in this sport, your attitude and your mindset is number one as far as controlling where you go in the sport. You got to have it. It would be, I mean, it's kind of hard just to answer that without going in depth on stuff, and it would just all really depend on the kid I was talking to and where they was wanting to go, and it would be a long visiting process.
Well,
and that's kind of where I wanna help kids do that, and I'm actually supposed to speak at the English Days this year to the youth, and if I get one kid that actually listens and wants to take part in it and wants to learn, man, that'll be like one of the best feelings for me in the world, just to help them. I've got kids. All my kids started out coon hunting. To be honest with you, I probably went about it the wrong way with them. They still like to go once in a while, but they didn't get the bug like I did. And it was probably because I was too serious when they was too young to be that way with. And I hope to be able to help some kids or even help parents with their kids to get their kids where they can be in the sport at a high level. I don't think I answered your question very good, but like I said, that's kind of a hard one for me to answer without the kid telling me where he really wants to be and wants to go with it, because everybody has a different goal. I mean, like me, I want to win a world hunt, but that's a goal I got, but it's not really my whole thing. I'll be honest with you. I want to make an impact in the English breed. I feel like I'm on my way to doing that. But like I said about the hunts earlier, your win today ain't going to determine your career later, and you ain't going to be remembered for years to come. The only way I feel like you can do that is to make an impact like Jim Riggs, Larry Wilcox, like all these guys, Asa Briggs, that have done this and made a stamp in the English breed. And that's what I want to do. I'd rather do that and people remember my dogs, not necessarily remember me, but remember what the dogs and what they've done for the breed, and that would be my biggest goal.
Yes, sir. Well, lots of good information in this. I really appreciate it. It exceeded my expectations for this sit-down interview.
Before we go, we want to highlight a few more things to leave you with, and that is our kennel partners. Kennel partners include Snow Tracker Kennels with Mel Strife, Saline River Tree Dogs with Trey Gennard. If you need a squirrel or coon dog trained, tuned up, or boarded, give Trey a call. And Horseshoe Kennels, owned by Spencer Brown. Our stud dog partners include Blue Boy Curly, English dog, owned by Andrew Ratcliffe, and Finley River Death Row Joe 3, tree and walker dog, owned by Jeff Lackley. Give them all a look up on our Facebook and our website for more information, and if you're interested in breeding to them, give them a call and tell them we sent you. Thank you for listening. Until next time, happy hunting and God bless.